A lot of teachers enter summer exhausted and then accidentally spend the whole break trying to earn rest instead of actually experiencing it. So last week, I talked about being allowed to put teaching down for a minute. Well, this week, I'm going to do a fun little replay about how terrific teachers set boundaries over the summer. Welcome to One Tired Teacher. This is Trina Debery, and I hope you stick around.
Welcome to One Tired Teacher. And even though she may need a nap, this teacher is ready to wake up and speak her truth about the trials and treasures of teaching. Here she is, wide awake. Wait, she's not asleep right now, is she? She is awake, right? Okay. From Trina Debery Teaching and Learning, your host, Trina Debery.
Hey, so we're going to, when your summer doesn't need to become like unpaid curriculum season, or you feel like, hey, I deserve some joy too, you absolutely do. So we're going to listen to an oldie but a goodie, and it's going to be fun. Hey, so before we jump into the show, I want to let you know that this episode is being sponsored by my end of the year camp bundle. So if you're dreading the end of the year and the hustle and bustle and there's just so much to do and such little time, not anymore do you have to worry about that, my friend, because your end of the year activities have never been more engaging, time producing for teachers, and just plain awesome for kids. So you can grab this end of the year camp themed week-long unit. It's a bundle with my camp STEM included. So keep teaching until the end while giving yourself time to get everything done at school. This bundle includes both the print and the digital camp unit. So you can save on copies, and that's great news, or you can just print whatever way you choose. And also my 10 camp themed STEM challenges, all in one resource for more than 30% discounted. Be sure to open up the preview, check it out, see what's inside, and I think you're going to love it. This bundle includes a digital and print and STEM challenges, end of the year camping days activities bundle. Camp end of the year is a great way to send your students off for the summer. And I think that you're going to absolutely love it. So it'll save you time. It'll keep your kids engaged. It'll make sure that kids are still working and they're still learning. They're still thinking and they're busy while you get to kind of scoot off to the side and do what you need to do. You can find this on my shop in TPT at Trina Debery Teaching and Learning. And it's the end of the year camp bundle. All right, let's get on with the show. So we're back for another week together of Two Tired Teachers, and we are going to be talking about setting boundaries over the summer.
Oh my goodness.
But
like not just over the summer, into the school year too.
Absolutely.
Right?
You're right. Yes. Setting boundaries, period. But we're just talking about it because it is over the summer.
Mm-hmm.
And you can kind of start with that, because don't you feel like sometimes we go into the summer and we don't set those boundaries?
Yeah, I think if you could set clear boundaries now, you'll be able to carry them into the school year, or at least make a note somewhere, like in a planner, like these are the things I'm not going to do this school year, or whatever it is. And if you're practicing them in the summer, it's a little easier to keep them in the new year too.
I agree. Plus, I feel like I was really guilty of not setting boundaries for myself over the summer, and I would work a lot over the summer.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember one time having a conversation with a principal of mine, and she was like, when was the last time you just enjoyed your summer break? Like you didn't do school. And I remember thinking that was the most preposterous thing someone could ask me. Like, why would I enjoy my summer break? I have to get ready for the new school year.
Yeah.
But in hindsight, I realized that's actually very toxic that I was doing to myself. And I should have given myself a break, but I just had really big dreams for myself and what I wanted to do. And that meant working all the time, which I think is a misconception that we need to debunk.
I agree. I totally agree. And I think that you just said something really important. Like, first of all, it's unbelievable that you had a principal that asked that, because I don't think that is a common. I think like in my school, it was kind of a badge of honor that you were there all summer long working. And I think that it shouldn't be. I agree. I think it is toxic. And when I look back on my long career, I think about how much I missed with my kids
Oh yeah.
and how I was avoiding my life. Like
Yes.
I was avoiding being
Oh
healthy.
man, that could be its own episode because I 100% agree. A lot of my workaholic tactics were because I didn't want to deal with things that were either happening at home or even within the school environment. So I would just like really
Yes.
lean into like being in my classroom. And it was just kind of like a way to avoid the bigger picture, which is truly unhealthy. And now like I can see the error of my way and how pushing it down never put it away. It just made it worse instead of confronting it head on. So,
Absolutely.
man,
No,
it's
I totally agree. That could be a big one.
yeah.
All right. So what do we do?
All right. So I'm thinking boundaries. Let's be very clear on what that's going to be. So boundaries are things that we're going to say no to. We're setting up kind of like a wall, almost like a boundary that we're going to say this isn't going to be crossed anymore. I think as teachers and as women, we tend to have looser boundaries because we come from a nurture. And that I know that's very like stereotypical, like not every woman is nurturing, but I just think it's naturally our nature. If you're a teacher, even male you're going in because you're a nurturer by nature. Mm-hmm. And when you're a nurturer, you tend to give more of yourself than you really should. And I think that that's where we see like the teacher burnout that we're seeing right now, especially it's like unprecedented amount because teachers have been literally pouring and pouring and pouring into education. And it's very little is being poured back. And we can't, as teachers, keep thinking that someone's going to pour into us because that's not their responsibility. It's our responsibility to stop the pouring and pour back into ourselves. But to stop pouring, we need to have clear boundaries that allow us to rest, relax, and reset. Because that's the only way that we are going to have sustainable teaching careers or teachers who are in teaching longer than 5 years, right? Isn't that a statistic?
Yes,
like
that is.
Most teachers quit within the first 5 years. I'm telling you right now, when I was a 5th year teacher, I could see why.
Oh, me too. Me too. Totally. And I think that my daughter said this and she was on the podcast. She talked about not being able to pour from an empty cup.
Oh yeah.
So she's like, and I thought that was such a good.
What episode was that she was on?
That was,
do you remember? Not to put you on the spot, but
I know. I don't.
I was just thinking like, let's plug that episode.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll find it.
Do you want me to tap the mic so that you know to like delete out that part? Or?
I'm not going to worry about it.
Okay.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's an episode that I will link to in the show notes.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Hey teachers, if you're teaching summer school, sending home summer practice, or you're just trying to help kids keep reading without making it feel heavy, I've created some simple summer reading comprehension resources that might help. They're short, they're engaging, they're low prep, they're designed to keep learning going without overwhelming anyone. They've got fiction and nonfiction paired texts, and they are super fun. You can find them at Trina Debery Teaching and Learning on TPT or on Etsy. The link is in the show notes.
That sounds like a great episode to listen to, like especially if you're really enjoying what we're talking about on this one. That might be a good one to follow up on, or to start with that one, come to this one, whatever.
Absolutely. All right. So what are some boundaries that you think are really necessary for teachers to?
Oh man.
Yeah.
Okay. You want me to go first? So I'll start first. I've got a list.
Okay.
And I know you're going to have some thoughts.
Yes, I do. I have some.
So
some thoughts.
I think that teachers need to set clear work boundaries, and that includes taking time off when they need time off. And I know this one is hard because this one gets tricky. Okay. Because like I'm the person who worked on Christmas break because I wanted to feel prepared coming back. And I do think you as a person have to evaluate like the risk and reward, right? If I decide to take all 2 weeks off, will I still feel good going back? Only you can set that boundary. But I do think it's important to set aside time that you will be completely disengaged from work, whether that's I will always have, you know, I will try to get my work done before I go on break and I will just enjoy that break. I'm not sure because I feel like it's different for everyone.
I do too. I think it's different for everyone, but I think it's a good point to make. And I also I think when people tell themselves, because this is what I'm thinking when you were saying that, but I
Yeah.
like working. It makes me happy. I
Mhm.
enjoy it. And you tell yourself that because maybe you do feel that way.
Yeah.
However, I think it's really important for you to figure out other aspects of who you are. And you aren't just this one
Yeah.
thing.
You're not just a teacher.
Yes. You might be a daughter or a friend or a mom
Mother,
or
a
yes,
wife.
a wife. There's other
Mhm.
aspects of who you are. And if you only are focused on that one thing, I don't think that's healthy. I do it myself still. I'm like,
Oh,
but
yeah.
I enjoy working. I just want to keep working. But
I
no,
know.
it's not good for you. And also I think it's like my friend says this, that we need to let children practice being bored. And I'm like, I think that's true for us too, because
Oh
sometimes,
my gosh, it's so true. We
isn't
don't
it?
want to be bored.
No, we
So
don't
we
want to be
work.
bored or on our phone or on social
Oh
media.
gosh,
I can't
yes.
even stand in a line to get my prescription filled without
Mhm.
getting on social media. I'm
So
like,
true.
can I not just stand here and be bored? Your mind has to think of things and that's sometimes where creative ideas come from.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's why meditation is so big, right? Like to
Absolutely.
take time to do mindful work and do
Mm,
meditation. Man, we could do a whole episode on like mindful practices
for
for the
sure.
classroom
Yes. Yoga in
because
the classroom. Yes.
from what I'm reading about that and like the how it helps you regulate your system better, like your nervous system. Because the truth is everyone that lived through the pandemic has a dysregulated nervous system right now. It's just the way it happened. Adults, children, everyone, whether you are truly affected or not, everyone does. So that could be a whole other episode.
Could. Yes.
Of
I'm going to write it down
mindfulness.
because I think it would be really helpful. I used to seriously do yoga with my students in my classroom. And
Mm-hmm.
it was a complete game changer. You kind of
Yes.
forget about some of
Yes.
these things. So yeah. Okay. So go
Yes.
ahead.
Oh, we have to talk more about that because I think there's just it's so undervalued. So yeah, set clear work boundaries, and that means taking time for yourself on set school holidays. And like I said, I think that's a personal choice on how much of that time, but then be true to yourself. If you say, I'm going to take Sunday through Saturday off and I'm only going to work again that Sunday night, keep that promise to yourself that you'll only work during that set time.
Mhm.
And I think that's huge too, is keeping a promise to yourself and repeating to yourself that you're worth the promise, right? Like we would never tell our students like, we're going to do this thing like, and promise them they're going to, and then not do it. Like you would be so mortified if you didn't keep a
Yes.
promise to your kids,
You're right.
but we don't treat ourselves that way.
No.
We
And
don't, we make
no,
promises to ourselves and break them all the time.
which is
So like
so unhealthy because you should be able
so
to
unhealthy.
trust yourself. So when you,
Yes.
yes. So don't push it to another limit and then tell yourself, oh, it'll just be a little bit longer, a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Set that boundary, set that time. If you have to set a time, I think that's good. I think that's true even for the summer. Like I'm going to take all of June off. I'm going to let myself start thinking about school after the 4th of July week.
Yeah. Well, and I think too, if you have the time set aside
Mm-hmm.
to know that's when I'm going to work on that, you don't feel so bad for taking you can truly enjoy the time off.
Yes.
Right? Like you truly enjoy all of June or whatever,
whatever you
your
choose.
set.
Yes.
You truly can enjoy it because you know it's okay. I'm not going to be behind because I have this set time to do it. And if your mind goes to start wandering, like I get anxiety about school, especially back to school, because there's so much that happens. I found keeping a notebook of like school ideas so that when I was in my like time off time, I could write them down and feel like they're out of my head instead of like, well, I'm going to forget if I don't do it right now. If I don't make this thing right now, I'm going to forget. Well, no, I'm going to set it here. And when I'm ready, I can do it.
I think that's a great idea because that was what I was just going to say. If you don't have that notebook, if you don't have that place to like get it out of your head, you're going to feel like, at least for people like me who have ADD, you're going to forget. You're going to feel like
Yeah.
you're going to forget. And then your brain starts getting frustrated because you're like, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to remember this. What do I do with this? So having a space, like a place, not a dump site. What's the word I'm looking for?
A brain dump.
Yes, like a place to dump your brain, and then you could just move on. You know, you're going to take care of this during the time that you set. I think that's
and then when it comes that time, you're not like, wait, what was I supposed to work on? You can open back up that notebook, or in your notes app, or if you do Google Keep, putting, looking at your summer list of things that you wanted to work on. Because I do think there has to be a balance, especially in teaching where there's so much expected of us from the school year. Some things do have to come during the summertime. Not much, but some.
Yes.
Another clear boundary is like, oh man, no grading work at home. What do you think of that?
No, I think that's perfect. I think that's great. I love it.
Can I tell you I'm a recovering working like grading at home alcoholic? Like, I used to bring every Friday night all my grading from the week home, and I would sit on the couch with my husband and I would mark and mark and mark all. That's all we would do. We would sit and I would mark for hours on the couch as we would watch TV. And honestly, I wasn't really relaxing, and I also wasn't really marking that well, but like I didn't know when else to do it.
Yeah. And you're also taking that time that being present with your spouse, taking that time, and you're not present with either one of those things. No, I think that is, I can tell me if you've ever done this, because I feel still guilty taking stacks of papers home, thinking I'm going to grade them, and then not being able to, and then throwing them in the trash.
Trina, you're not supposed to tell the folk that we throw things away.
Sometimes I had to, because I got overwhelmed. It was so overwhelming. I did
Plenty of things were filed away in the circular bin in my career,
and many things were just given a check. Like I wanted them to think that I looked over it, and then
actually, do not undervalue the using a check mark. I feel like that is a great way to say I've reviewed, but this was not for a grade. Like we spot checked it. That's enough. I actually did a lot of check pluses, and that was from. It's funny because I never saw an actual teacher do it, but when I was in my senior internship as a teacher, I did kindergarten, and that's how they graded back then. And they just said you had a check plus, or like a zero with a line. And that was basically I know, right? Yeah. And the zero with a line was like, you didn't get enough right to you're still practicing. They didn't give Fs or anything, but I used that even when I taught 5th grade because it really worked. It was just a quick, easy way to check.
Yes, it's just a quick check. But I learned to do that smarter. I used exit tickets, which I felt like were so much smarter.
Oh,
and
yes.
I thought this was genius. My friend told me to do this. She would have kids literally come with their math book, and they would do 3 or 4 problems, enough for you to know if they got it or not. And then they would just come, you'd check. And you could even do I was doing standards based assessment. So this might be different for,
I remember standard based assessment
or a grade, but it was okay, I'm done. I did it at school. We did it at school. And also you're giving them immediate feedback,
immediate. Yes. Oh my gosh. So I'm going to one more thing about this, and then we got to move on in our list. Okay. But I will say marking as much as I could at school, I felt like such a more effective teacher. A practice that I started probably my 3rd year because I got tired of taking home reading tests every week was literally after my students finished their reading test for the week, because in my district, they would have a reading test every week. I would grade it right in front of them as they sat there. All they would do to tell me they were done was go get a book. And then if they were done, I would come over with my little smelly marker and I would mark it in front of them. The best thing I could have ever done, because I was able to talk to my students about why their answers were incorrect. I was also able, because this is 2nd grade, beginning of the year, especially at the beginning of the year, where they would miss some. And I'd be like, you didn't mark an answer here. Let's be careful, because of that would be wrong. Yes. But I'm here and I can tell you to go back and let me know when you're not. Anyway, but to be able to provide that feedback, how I'm going to go back into the text and find this answer. Look how I'm going to look for this keyword. Listen, when I read this question, what are they asking? So powerful. By the end of the year, the conversation was much smaller, much less, and the grades were much better.
Yeah.
Because I literally was teaching like test taking skills, but not like, we're not changing the grade. Like, I'm not going to be like, oh, you didn't mean to. No, we weren't changing the grade. The grade was still the grade, but I'm teaching how to like do a better grade. I loved that. And
yeah, no, that's great.
bonus, no grading at home.
Yep. No grading at home, which is the whole point of that.
Yeah.
All right.
Another boundary.
Okay. Yep. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just going to summarize what you just said, setting work boundaries and then clear times and then no work or grading at home. Okay. I'm ready.
No grading at home. Another one is limiting the number of hours you're spending at work. Right. I think like the joke is like you're the last car in the parking lot, you know, and I remember like there was a school that I used to teach at where it was the norm for most teachers to stay 3-4 hours after school.
Yep.
Even though school would end at like 2:30, teachers would still be there till 5 or 6 at night. And that was like the norm.
Yes.
And then I transferred to a different school and the norm for them was to leave right at 2:30.
Yes. So
and I was like, how are you getting anything done though? Like, so I realized I had to find the space between those because leaving at 2:30 didn't work for me as a teacher. Like I was stressed because I wasn't getting I needed time to lesson plan. I needed time because I didn't want to take work home.
Yeah.
So I kind of found like if I just said I'm going to leave at 3:00 every day of the week, except for on Thursdays. Thursdays is my late day. I stay till 4. And then once I kept that boundary, it was so much easier to work that and find the time to like get your stuff done.
Yes. No, I totally agree. My friend and I did this, like we did like a barter with each other. It would be one day a week. I would stay late until however long I needed. She would take all of her kids and my kids. She would take them to the playground. Yes. Feed them. And then I would come pick them up and take them home, get ready for bed. That was great. That was the one extra day I needed. Then I would do the same thing for her. I'd pick up all of her kids, take them to the playground, feed them again, and they would be ready to go with her. It saved me in my early children, like my children's early time of their life.
Well, and I think as a mom, it's so hard because especially if your kids are at school with you, you feel the pressure of having to leave, but then like, you're not going to get it done when you get home because there's sports and dinner and, recitals and all the things that kids have. Cause like they have their own lives outside of your life. And darn kids.
You're right. It's a lot. It's so much. And I think there's different seasons of your life too.
Oh yeah.
Like I know exactly what you're talking about. It was the norm at my school too, to stay there forever. And like, we kind of judged, which this is a problem. We kind of judged veteran teachers that left
who would leave,
time.
Right? I remember seeing
like,
one time a teacher leave at it. Our contracted hours were 7:30 to 2:30. And I remember watching that teacher walk down at like 2:25 and go sign out at 2:30 and I was thinking, now I laugh at myself because I should have been begging her to tell me her secrets.
I totally agree. But we think we're so trained in that scarcity, like judgmental kind of mentality that we hurt each other. And like, don't judge, be happy that they're leaving on time
and beg them to tell you their secrets so that you can leave.
It's getting work done at work. And it's also,
well, and like I said, when I transferred to that other school and it was a totally different leave culture. At 2:30. Completely different school culture. And I'm going to tell you, great teachers there too. Yeah. So staying late does not make you a better teacher. It just makes you like spend more time and be more burnt out. So choose, if you need, I would just choose one day a week. That's your late day. And that's when you do like the heavy hitting or whatever. Other than that, like, you work at work.
You could come in early instead, because
I love that you bring that up.
I was fried at the end of the day. Like my brain, I wasn't even being efficient. So I was taking 2 to 3 times longer to do a task that if I had done early in the morning would have been done in 20 minutes. So I wasn't able to go earlier when I had little kids because it was just hard getting them up and ready. I mean, one day we drove to school and my son didn't have on shoes. So I was like, I got to turn around. I'm going to be
my car right now. It sounds like me driving my kids to daycare.
I'm like, what do you
Gosh.
mean you don't have on shoes? How are you in the car without shoes? I had to put like a visual chart on the back of the garage door, like on the
That's so
door from the
funny.
garage to the house that had like backpack, a picture of his shoes, a picture of his lunchbox. So we would remember these things. It drove me crazy. Anyway, I couldn't get there early to save my life. But when my kids got older, I'm like, oh, I actually can get there. That is the best
Yes.
time to be there because nobody's there and it's
Yes. Okay. It's okay. So I'm like you, mornings are definitely a struggle. But when I recently stepped back in the classroom last year to do a maternity leave, I was blessed to be at a school that had, so like the district I'm in now does like you're either an early start school or a late start school. You work the same hours, but it just depends on whether your planning time is either in the morning or in the afternoon. So at this school, their planning was in the morning. Trina, it was amazing. I never had to stay late ever. You know why? Because I literally like the kids didn't start until like 8:40.
so your
So
brain
I
was
could get there
fresh.
at like 7:15.
Mhm.
My contracted hours weren't until 7:30. Like
Mhm.
I could get there as early as I can. And I literally had the entire morning to lesson plan, to mark grades, to get things set up. It was so, I never felt so prepared to teach as I did with that. And I was like, they should do this for every school.
I
There,
agree.
there would be meetings in the morning, but you didn't
Mhm.
feel frazzled because like
Mhm.
you were fresh,
You
right?
were
Like you weren't
fresh. You
like,
weren't
oh my gosh, I just had
exhausted.
such an exhausting day and now I'm no.
I
And then
can't
the
imagine.
expectation, crazy enough, was that when the buses left and all like by like we were done at like 3:15 or whatever, that was you left. Like literally teachers would come with their bags and the principal would be like, bye, and watch them walk. And it was the expectation that, and if you went back to your classroom, you were kind of like, oh, why? No, but like it was amazing.
I think
And
that
it
I
also
think that
allowed you to be late unnoticed. I would just
sure. Yes, that's true. And some people would do that. But I think if that has to I think some of that can be the administrator.
Oh
I
yeah.
think
No,
I
I
think
agree.
you could make that yeah, it's time to leave. Okay, everybody, it's time to go. Although I guess it would stress some people out. All right. So did you cover your boundaries? Do you have more on your list?
I have one, well, I have two more.
Okay.
So I think a next boundary, and obviously you can throw in any that if I'm not saying one that you're really thinking of, but
No,
I
you're
think
doing
another
good.
boundary could be saying no to being on like every committee or doing every after school club because you know that there's those teachers out there that are, the PTA liaison and they're the, grade chair and they're also the in the master schedule committee and on
Oh
this and that.
gosh.
And I think like, although it's all well and good and you feel like you're really supporting and helping your school, in the end, you could feel very burnt out because I've been there.
Yes. Yeah. Me too. Years of
So
being team leader. We didn't even have a master schedule committee, but that would have been a smart committee to have. But anyway, I totally, I think that is, yes, I think you have to remember. I just wrote this actually recently to my TDTL listies. I talked about if you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else. So
yes.
every time you
Yes.
say yes, you need to think, what am I saying no to? Am I saying no to my kids? Am I saying no to my
Mhm.
husband? Am I saying no to myself? My mom, my friend, what am I saying no to? Because something is going to be no.
Yeah. And it might be something that you should have been saying yes to because that would fulfill you more.
Absolutely.
Right.
And yes, and I think this is a problem for me. And I've told my audience that no, I'm divorced. It's been like almost 8 years now. But one thing that I do kind of regret, like the part where I take ownership is that he used to say, well, I'll just have your principal, Mike, his name is Mike. I'll just ask Mike and he'll ask you to do it and then you'll do it. Isn't that terrible? So he actually thought the only way he could get me to do something was if my principal said. So I would say yes, 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 yes to him. And I would, yeah.
Yeah.
That's not a
So
good
you were
thing.
saying no to your
I
husband.
was saying
Yikes.
no to my husband, to my family. So
Yeah. See, like that can't be the norm. We need to like normalize saying no because it means you'll have to say, if you say yes, you're having to say no to something else. So giving yourself time, even if that looks like just saying, I'm not sure. Let me really think about that. I'll get back
yes,
to you. Cause like when
yes,
your principal is like, the culture I always was at schools is basically like your principal was is your boss, obviously, but like whatever, if your principal's coming to you, you have to say yes. Like it wasn't really like them asking. It was more like an ask tell.
Yeah.
So it was just more of like, oh, your principal asked you to do that. You have to say yes. But I think it's okay to say no and
Yeah.
to be okay with that. But if that means taking time, because I'm a yes person by nature,
Yes.
like I want to like do everything. So I think it's okay to take
Me too,
time.
but I'm recovering. I'm a
Right. Recovering. I think, and
because
that's, we all need to be recovering.
It wasn't that way and like my last year. I left on time. I said no.
Mhm.
I actually said no to things. Like one time they wanted me to cover a class and I was like, no, I can't.
Yeah.
Obviously they could make me, but I'm like, I have
Yeah.
plans. I have book club. I've got, read in classrooms. I've got this and this.
Mhm.
And they're like, okay. Like they didn't know what to do with the fact that I said no. And I'm
Oh,
like,
I know.
I know that
Well,
I wasn't
and
one
that's
of
a
their
mind shift, I
favorites. All
think,
right.
that like
You're right.
administration needs to make too, that
I
teachers
agree.
are allowed to say no.
Yes.
Because I will say there were plenty of times where my principal was like, I need you to head up a book study. I need you to get, and I should have said no, but I didn't. And I think if I would have just, maybe even if I can't say no in the moment, saying something like, let me think about it and I'll email you.
I really think that's good. I think I could have gotten better if I had some time to think about
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Well, and then because like I said, you want to say yes, but then it allows you to kind of process that choice too. Like,
Yes.
okay,
Because you
what
can't
are
decide
we?
right in that moment a lot of
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Last
The
one.
last one. Unless you have more. Do you have more?
Oh no, these are great.
I think the last easy boundary, and the last boundary you can set as a teacher, and this one to me is easy.
Oh, I did think of one. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Do you want to say it before I say this one? Okay. Okay. This one is deleting your school email off your phone. I'm going to rewind it.
Yeah.
I'm going to repeat it again so that you could come back to me if you were like doing 10 other things. Yeah. Okay. Deleting your school email off of your personal phone. There is no reason why you should have your school email on your phone. And the crazy thing is, Trina, I didn't know when this became a norm. I didn't realize this was a real thing until I was teaching at my son's school, and they all were out at recess one time and they were all talking about this email they got and they were showing it to me on their phone. Yeah. And they're like, oh, you didn't get the email? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm sitting here at recess. Like, I got to go check my computer. All of them had it on their phone. Yes. And I realized this is a very normal thing.
You're right.
Except for it shouldn't be. Number one,
no, it shouldn't.
The district doesn't pay for your phone. So unless the district provides you your cell phone, you shouldn't have your email on it.
You're right.
There are reasons, like if you're a traveling teacher, like you don't have a home base.
It's a little bit different, but you can still, there's still texting available. Yeah. So I think I think it's a little bit different.
Or have an iPad that's like the school's iPad that's designated. There's just so many legality problems with having your email on your phone too, because if something got subpoenaed, your emails are public record because
on your phone. You're right.
Your phone can get take it. It's your personal thing. They can take it. So it's just, you don't need that drama in your life. You just don't.
And plus, it's stressful. And then you have to see all those freaking reply all, and then nobody hits reply to sender. And so then you get 25 responses to one.
Yeah. Well, or that parent emails you that you go to check your email just to see if like your principal replied to you on a question about book supplies or whatever. And then you see that one parent emailed you, like, now you've just ruined your evening because you're thinking about something that you really shouldn't have been thinking about in that moment.
They should not have access to you for 24 hours a day. It's not 24/7. Yeah, no, I agree.
I agree.
I think that's a huge one. I was going to say to make sure to eat. Like sometimes, I think that's an important boundary. It has been for me. I didn't realize I had blood sugar issues. I don't think they were as bad when I was younger. It has gotten worse. And if I don't eat, I get really like shaky and grouchy, extremely grouchy. I don't think things through rationally sometimes. I don't think that's the best interest for my kids. It's definitely not for me.
Well, and I think this is just the problem of a greater taking care of your needs. Drinking water. I think as
going
teachers,
to the bathroom.
We do the same with like, we don't drink water because we don't want to go to the bathroom because you have a limited access to the bathroom, right?
Right.
You get to pee twice a day, lunch and break, and if you're lucky, you have a teacher next door who will watch your class if you have to go. But like, it's true. We don't take care of our basic human needs because we're so stressed out about like getting in trouble.
We're
you
limited.
know, but
I
I think,
actually trained my kids. I trained them how, I mean, we had a procedure for me to go to the bathroom
oh,
because
that's so funny.
I had two bathrooms in my classroom and I didn't make them boys and girls. I made them mine and the students.
Oh, I
Yes.
love that.
So mine was all fancy and, you know, whatever. And I trained them because I told them, I'm like, they can go to the bathroom whenever they want. Like they were allowed to
Yeah.
get up and go as long as I wasn't in the middle of teaching something. But if they were having an emergency, even then they were. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I need you to give me the same respect and
I
care.
love that. I have a
So I
funny
went whenever I
bathroom
wanted.
story. Can I tell you a funny bathroom
Yes.
story? So when I was teaching 5th grade, which if there's a grade that you should be able to leave alone for 5 seconds so that you can use the restroom, it should be 5th grade. So I was teaching 5th grade and it was the beginning of the year and it was my morning class. They were great. And I was having a bathroom emergency. The 5th grade room was like a concretable, which is different than a portable. Basically, I
Oh,
had
yeah.
neighbors, but they weren't like, it wasn't like a teacher could just stand at my door.
Mhm.
Like I would have had to go interrupt, like it was a whole thing. The other option is I could have called up to the office. The office was like literally a 20-minute hike on the other side of school. It was like the furthest point from the office. So, and I'm like, dude, I just got to go like 5 seconds.
Yes.
No big deal. I didn't even make a big announcement about it. I just hopped in there. I did my business. I washed my hands. You can hear the kids in the bathroom. I come out and I noticed when I was in the bathroom, it got really quiet. And I just thought, no big deal. I come out and there's the administrator standing there
Oh man.
looking at me. And I thought, well, this is it. I'm going to get fired.
Yeah.
And she goes, I was wondering if there was a teacher in here today. And I go, I'm sorry, I had to use the restroom. She goes, no, it's okay. I understand. She's like, your kids were great. They were just working on their thing. Like, so she kind of like made a joke about it, but
Yes.
I'm going to tell you, like, how sad is it? I literally thought I'm going to be fired because
Yes, because you're like, I've left a room with children unsupervised. You do. That's
even
immediately.
though I could hear them, the bathroom was in the classroom. I
Yes.
could hear them.
Me too. And me too. And I'm like, I can get to them in like 60 seconds at the most.
That, less than.
Yeah.
I mean,
At the most. Yes.
I was going to like pee my pants. Like I had to.
Well, and you know, sometimes you just have to. So I
Yeah,
think we make it, well, we function around fear. That's part of the problem. All right. So those are some really good
right.
boundaries.
Just, yes. Really, the takeaway today is just setting clear boundaries. They can start over the summer, right? Deleting the email off the phone is something they can do right now. Literally take out your phone, find your email app, press it so it like jiggles, and then swipe it to the trash can. You do not need that. And do not even come at me with like, but I need it over the summer. You do not. You can turn on your computer and go on.
And you
like,
can check
that's
it
such an
once a
easy
week,
boundary.
maybe, at the
I'm
most.
sorry, my cat. What
No,
is it?
It's all right. I said you can check it once a week and that's it. Like that needs to be another boundary because they can't have access to you for that all that time.
No.
This is your time. You're actually not getting paid for that.
Exactly. Teachers don't get paid over the summer. They think but you don't actually get paid over the summer. So you should not be answering emails for free.
I
like
agree.
Obviously, if like something happens and your principal needs to get in touch with you, they can call you. Like they have your phone number.
Yes, they do. They'll probably have an emergency chain.
Yeah. Exactly. And I have a blog post that outlines like why you should delete your email off your phone and how that can reduce burnout. Appalachiosteacher.com. And it's like 1 minute action to reduce teacher burnout is the post. So we link that in the show notes?
Absolutely. Let's link it in the show notes so people can read that. That's really helpful. Sometimes we need to see those kind of things in writing too.
Yeah. So, all right, let's end this with the one thing, if a teacher were to walk away from this episode, that they could do to help with teacher burnout, like, or to set a boundary this school year, what would you say? Like the one thing because we talked about a lot. So really, if they could choose just one.
There's so many things. I'm going to say work at work.
Oh, I like that one. Work at work and relax at home. Mm-hmm. I'm going to say deleting the email because that's a passion of mine.
A tie. That was a one that I was tied in my head. I'm like,
I don't think I.
All right. Well, we will wrap this episode up and we will see you next week. So sweet dreams and sleep tight for you.
Yes. Two tired teachers signing off.